Hare Krishna devotees. So today we are going to see the last chapter of our first module, which is, talking about our Ashtanga Yoga, which is also called Dhyana Yoga. Before we start, let's start off with Mangalacharan. And whoever would like to read, please keep your hand raised. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimrandasya Jnananjalachalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaya Dadati Swapadatikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurani Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishavanusute Devi Pranamani Hari Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shrivatsadi Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna devotees. So let's start the Dhyana Yoga. So now we had quick recap of the 5th chapter where Krishna gives peace formula and also says the easier and the simplest way to reach him, that is to achieve liberation, is by working in Krishna conscious. Now we'll always believe in the road not taken, right? We'll tell Krishna, how can you assume that, for me that's only easy? I feel that I will do Dhyana Yoga and that's only easy for me. So Krishna does not want to give that scope. So he is presented in chapter 6 how to perform Dhyana Yoga. So for all those who feel you want to choose the option 2, this is not about sannyasism. See, sannyasism is also Krishna conscious only, because even sannyasis of even ISKCON, they are living in the temple. They don't live in the forest, right? But these are one set of people where they will forego everything and they will completely go to an isolated place and follow this kind. And what style they follow, let's see. It's called Dhyana Yoga. Before that, let's see what is yoga. Yoga, we all know, is to link one to Krishna, one to God. So these are the various types of yogas. Right? Now you have to tell me, is this yoga? There's something called beer yoga. Usually when we do exercise itself, we are recommended not to drink. Even in extreme martial arts, we tell that, just to sip. This is a kind of yoga. Very funny, right? I'm not very sure if she's doing yoga or the sheep. So on the extreme left, right, this is Hiranyakashipu. And there is some yoga for cats also. So I have 2 cats, I'll have to check. There's something called yoga. And a few years back, we organized in our office also something called yoga for working people. So what is Ashtanga Yoga? Ashta means 8. It's a Sanskrit word. Anga means limbs and yoga means, we all know, it's connection. So what does it say? It talks about various things, starting with yama. Right? Yama, niyama, ashana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. Here, currently, our real yoga practices right now, they follow only starting from asana. Yama and niyama is never touched. Of course, we all would have known about pranayama, all the breathing techniques, right? Anybody would like to read? Please keep that. Hare Krishna. You can unmute yourself, yes. Yeah. Whoever wants to read, you can. You don't have to. So whoever wants to read can unmute and read. Rekha, you can also read now. So starting.
Yama
Yeah.
6.10. He should live alone in a secluded place and should always carefully control his mind. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. They are first talking alone in a place and control your mind. So if you see, talks about for. Yes, Anuja, you can read from next. So that is, they talk about how and Hare Krishna, internal habit. Niyama is internal. 6 points. Krishna. Yes, Anuja, unmute. We are not.
He should live alone in a secluded place and should always carefully control his mind. Nimaya, temperate in his habits of eating, sleeping, working, and recreation.
Talks about every, there is this nectar of instruction level that only. So it goes like this. Atyahara. So everything has to be controlled. Okay, right from the mind, everything you should have control over every single thing. So it starts with Vacha Vegam, Manasa Krodha Vegam, Jigva Vegam, Udaro Prashta Vegam, Etan Vegan, Vishayeka Kumsha, Sarvam Abhiman, Kritivim Satirya. So everything has to be controlled, right? 6 things, right? From your mind, tongue, your speech, your stomach, your genitals, and everything. Literally everything has to be at your stomach. So let's go to the next asana. Right, this all are familiar. Hare Krishna.
Lay kush grass on the ground and then cover it with a deer skin. The seat should neither be too high or not too low and should be situated in a second place. One should hold one's body, neck and head erect in a straight line and stare steadily at the tip of the nose. Those with an unagitated, subdued mind devoid of fear, completely free from sex life, one should meditate upon me. Hare Krishna.
So what are they telling? Asana is basically the posture, right? One has to sit, lie down in the kusha grass and then cover with deer skin. Can anyone tell why deer skin? Why particularly deer skin? Keep typing in the chat and I'll continue. The seat should not be high or low, right? And it should be in a very sacred as well as a secluded place. Your body has to be straight as against what we sit, right? We always hunch or we lean on one side. No, it should be like 100% straight. Head should be right. And we should not close the eye. Why you should not close the eye? Because if you close the eye, you will fall asleep, right? So you should keep it in this fashion, right? Focusing on the tip of the nose, the way he is having, and that's the DP behind me also. And devoid of fear. Why should he be devoid of fear? Because he has to be alone. So he cannot, have fear, right? He should be living alone. So that's the thing. And he's free from sex life, completely free because he's all by himself. His mind, everything should be controlled and it should only meditate on him. Maybe because of warm, not just that. That's a good guess though. Because the deer skin has the propensity to repel. It's like how we say mosquito repellent. This is an insect repellent. So snakes and other insects don't come if there is a deer skin. So therefore, any skin will keep you warm. That's right. But particularly this skin protects you from these insects. It's a forest, right? So you will have a lot of wild insects on you. Hare Krishna. And pranayama is 5.29. Sorry, 6.29. It's typed wrong and changed. Yeah, go ahead and read.
Pranayama. Practice stopping the movement of the outgoing breath into incoming and incoming was its breath into the outgoing, and thus at last, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not, remain in the trance. Hare Krishna.
Just remain in the trance. Okay, because of sleep. Okay, thanks. But well, right. Pranayama, right? This we are all familiar. Breathing, how you should breathe in, how you should breathe out. All that he is giving, a lecture on how to go about. Pratyahara is cessation of material existence, right? That is 6.15, and Dharana 6.18. You can read.
Discipline his mental activities and become situated in transcendence, devoid of all material desire. He is said to have attained yoga. Hare Krishna.
So Pratyahara means cessation of material existence, means stopping all the material things, whatever related to that. And Dharana means you are situated in a trance mode, right? You do not have any further material desires, and that is what is called attaining the yoga. That's the stage of attaining yoga. Dhyana 6.790. Hare Krishna.
As a lamp in a wineless place does not waver, so the transcendentalist whose mind is controlled remain always steady in his meditation on the transcendent self. Hare Krishna.
So we know this what it means. It means in dhyana means trance. That's why it's called dhyana yoga or ashtanga yoga. He goes, without any level of disturbance, right? Like the lamp, when there is absolutely no wind in a vacuum, it's there, but then there is no shaking of that. Like that, the mind is completely controlled and it will not shake or fumble. Right? So that is what is meditation. And stage is samadhi, 6.22 to 23. Hare Krishna.
One is never shaken even in the midst of the greatest difficulty. This indeed is actual freedom from all miseries arising from material contact. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Samadhi is a final stage. Nothing will shake him. You go shake him, you go put something on his head, nothing. He is in absolute trance. Right? So there was this story where they can't even make out whether the person is sleeping, alive, or dead. Like Parikshit Maharaj, we have been seeing 7 days, he's struggling, right? And he's been cursed for death. Why? Because he went to a forest and there he had been to a house, he was very thirsty and he asked a Muni for water and the Muni doesn't respond. Why? Because he's in Dhyana and he goes into Samadhi. He's in such a deep state, he's just not aware. So Parikshit gets so angry, and what he does is he just takes a dead snake skin and garlands him. That's why they say these material desires, right? Hunger, thirst, they just don't have control. They don't have control. They don't know what their people are doing, and they just so he does that, and he is absolutely right. Saurabh, very beautiful. Shringi Muni, thank you. So Shringi Muni is doing this. So what is happening is he'll be like in totally total samadhi. Even after this has happened, he is not even aware that this happened, right? So he'll be in such a deep meditation. So that is called the final state where they completely think of God. Now tell me who is interested in this kind of yoga system. Whoever wants this kind of yoga system can raise your hand. This is not about sannyasi, this is about dhyan. Even if you want to become sannyasi, not get married, then it will become bhakti yoga. This will come under dhyana yoga. So who wants to do this? Anyone here? Girls, boys? Prabhus, Matajis? No one?
No, ma'am.
No.
Before I was interested about Dhyan Yog. I know everything about Dhyan Yog, but now I left after reading Bhagavad Gita and other books. I am really interested in Bhakti Yoga.
Exactly. So Bhakti Yoga is the many people get confused about Dhyan Yoga. It's a kind of yoga. Yeah, it's a kind of yoga. Basically, yoga means connecting to God. So it is also a kind of yoga. Yes, Dhyana Yoga is a kind of yoga. So this is to go to Krishna. See, Anuja, you are telling that you just now, Mukherjee also said I would prefer to do Bhakti Yoga. But there will be somebody who will tell, no, I want to do Dhyana Yoga, I want to do Ashtanga Yoga, I will do this only, that only. People will tell, right? So Krishna is telling, okay, if you want to do, I'll give you that option also. Right? There are people who do. You will still see some people in Himalayas, right? So now let's take a brief thing about Arjuna. First, this is in continuation with the question which I asked on the first day. Do you think you're better than Arjuna? Arjuna is better. All of you told that Arjuna is better. So let's highlight and see what are all the good qualities of Arjuna. So Arjuna, when he was a small child, his Dronacharya asked him, that you have to shoot this bow the eye of the eagle. When he asked, what do you see? Everybody said bird, sky, but Arjuna was one who said, I see the eye. That was the level of accuracy. And we all know, that during, the marriage function of Draupadi Suyamvara, he could see, the water and aim at the eye of the fish through a reflection. We are also aware that he had been 12 years, right, in Anyanavas, right? Not Anyanavas, sorry, totally into the forest, right? He was into sannyasism, which means all the 5 brothers have practiced it. It's not that they've always been in that lovely carpet. No, they have gone for Vanavasam, right? They were in the forest. In the Vana means forest, right? Can you guess who this is?
Tarzan.
Sorry? Tarzan, no. One is Arjuna. Who's the other one? Who's the other person who's fighting with Arjuna? This is Arjuna. You can make out from the eye.
Indra.
Sorry?
Indra.
Shiva. Indra won't fight with Arjuna. No, Arjuna's father. So this is Shiva, and goes on, and he is Shiva. He pleased Shiva with the level of fight. So he's so elevated, Arjuna, and he gets the gift of the Pasutara. He gets his one second. He wins and he pleases him, and he's so powerful. For Arjuna, let's hear what Arjuna has to say. And we saw Arjuna's previous birth, right? He was born as Narayana, right? Narayana was Krishna and Nara was him. And also in Chaitanya, he comes back. So they're always like, in doubles. They are eternal associate. Not they, he. He's an eternal associate. So what is he saying? Very lovely shloka here. 6.34, Hare Krishna. Chanchalam hi mana Krishna Ramati balavadridham tasyaham nikraham manye vayuriva sudushkaram. Chanchalam means shaking. It's just not enough to control the mind. Mind is very unsteady. And who's telling this? Arjuna is telling. So if Arjuna is, you can go ahead and read in English.
For the mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate, and very strong, O Kanhaiya, and to subdue it, I think, is more difficult than controlling the wind. Hare Krishna.
Krishna. So Arjuna is so special, right? He's called Gudakesha. He can control sleep. He's called Sabyasachi. Anyone knows the meaning of Sabyasachi?
Yes, man, who can use his both hands with same accuracy.
He can, somebody who's extraordinary, and he's someone who's extra talented to do the same thing in both hands. So Arjuna has such qualities, right? Any Sabyasachi is here, any Gudakesha is here. No, not me. So for him, if he's telling that I can even control what can he control? The wind, right? He's so powerful, he can control the wind. But what he says is he cannot control the mind. So what is Krishna telling? Let's hear. See, so sweetly now Krishna is going to talk. Yeah, you read. Hare Krishna.
The blessed Lord said, O mighty armed son of Kunti, it is undoubtedly very difficult to curb the restless mind, but it is possible by constant practice and by detachment. For one whose mind is unbridled, self-realization is difficult work, but he whose mind is controlled and who strives by right means is assured of success. Hare Krishna.
Look at Krishna, so sweet, right? He himself told it's difficult. He could have actually told Arjuna, hey, Arjuna, I told you, it's so difficult. See, simply you made me tell, and look at this. He doesn't talk like that. This is what is a great teacher's quality. He says, definitely, Arjuna, it's difficult. Yes, it is very difficult, but it is not impossible. It is possible. How is it possible? By constantly practicing and by detachment, it is possible. Right? For someone whose mind is shaky, it is going to be a difficult work. But for someone who's controlled mind, right, he can surely reach success. So he's so confidently telling. Now, all of you, question to answer time. Is your mind a friend or enemy?
Friend.
Friend, very good. For others, mind, friend or enemy?
Mind is our enemy.
Enemy, okay. So any other answers? Mind, friend or enemy? But we have a friend, we have an enemy.
Neutral. Maybe it depends on situation.
Enemy. So, who said neutral?
Anuja. Might be depend on situation.
So, Anuja, do you have any friend who will be your friend depending on situation? Very neutral. See, be a best friend or a worst enemy. Do you have friends who are like, one day friend, today the situation is not favorable, so she becomes your enemy. Today's situation is very favorable, she's your friend. Will you trust that friend?
No.
No. So that means that depends option is not there. Right? Your answer is actually right. I'm just trying to mock you. So depends in the sense, a mind becomes a friend if you are able to control the mind. But eventually we are not able to control the mind. So for all of us currently, the mind is an enemy. And I'll tell you how. All of you want to log in exactly at 2:45 class. Yes or no? But somehow or the other, something gets delayed that we just can log in at 3 only. In fact, 1 minute after 3. When I'm telling Mancha Kalpadurubhyasya, oh my God, okay, fine. This class has not started. Okay. Same way, exam, all of us want to be prepared. All of us want to get 100 out of 100, but we want to be prepared. Forget about the mark, but right, we don't want to take that exam tension. But are we really prepared?
No.
No. So if the mind was friend, we should be able to, do what we want. We want to be prepared. Why the mind is not respecting us? We have a mobile by the side, right before you, and half an hour you will not touch the mobile. Is it possible?
No.
No. So if mind was your friend, should be possible. So currently the mind is an enemy because we are not able to control it. But when we are able to control, then the mind becomes friend. But unfortunately, we are in a very primitive state. So this is what is written here, an answer for our question.
For him who has conquered the mind is the best of friends. But for no one who has failed to do so, his very mind will be the greatest enemy. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So you got the answer. So it all depends on it. So it's not for you or for me or for someone. This is what it talks about. What is the destination of someone who falls in achieving success in yoga? See, now they are talking about two things, right? Papa punya krita klokan, suchiman shashvita samaha, suchiman shrimatam deve, deva prishto abhijayate. So what does he say? So anybody who is here, right, who has failed in any yoga, what does Krishna do? So he is going to give the answer in 6.41. Hare Krishna, go ahead and read now.
After many years of enjoyment on the planet of the pious living entities is born into a family of righteous people or into a family of rich aristocracy. Hare Krishna.
So what are they telling Hare Krishna? He's telling after many years of enjoyment, right? So many years we've been enjoying the planets of pious living entities. They are born in a family of righteous people, right? Or in a family of rich aristocrats. So what does it mean? What do you mean by righteous people or transcendental after? So what is he explaining? I'll tell you. All of us also. It is not that suddenly we've come here. We got the Sukruti in our previous birth. So which means that even little bit you do. For instance, let's say that you have a bank balance of 1 crore rupee. Upon death, in your next Janma, does that 1 crore rupee gets transferred to you? Yes or no?
No.
No. Okay, let's go to marks. You got a marks in one semester. In science, okay, you write an exam and you get marks, right? You get, let's say, 75%. Now you're doing a re-exam. So when you write a re-exam, will they consider at least some 30-40% of your previous mark?
No.
No. So therefore, whatever we do in material world is only one-time chance. Whereas when it comes to spiritual, we are so lucky that Krishna takes credit. So if we have left at 25%, the next Janma will continue from 26. So whatever we are all continuing, you're all typically age group of 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 till about 25. All of you are not practicing now. You all have practiced earlier, which is why you see all of you today are in a situation that you can sit eat your lunch, go to college, come and listen to Bhagavad Gita. You're not in a position that you have to go to college, go and lift 4 gunny bags or guinea bags, whatever you call, and earn your living and eat your food. That's not your situation, which means you are all born in a relatively rich family. Right? So now when I'm telling rich aristocrat, in a family where you are not going to focus on food, shelter. See, today our definition of aristocrat is very different. Today our definition of aristocrat is when you have 10 cars, when you have 10 maids, when you do this, 10 maids come, right? So crorepati or whatever you call. But actually speaking is in a family where you are comfortable, and also in a pious family, or not and, where, because if you're born in a pious family, let's say a Brahmin family, automatic transcendence is coming. Example, Prabhupada, right? You will automatically have this wisdom. Whereas for us, we have to struggle. It's not natural. It's not like we're born in the transcendental family where they will tell Om Purnamada, you would have heard. No, Om itself you would have heard probably once in the month or once in, our Janmashtami. So here Krishna is telling that one of that is assured. So even if you fail, right? So beautifully, so this is tracking back where Krishna is telling, oh, Krishna, it's so difficult. No, don't worry, it's possible. And for a person who, the mind can be a friend if you are able to control, and by practice you can control. And if you fail, so he's so sweet. Arjuna also, what if he fails? He always wants to know the effect of someone who does not succeed. He says, don't worry, you'll be reborn in a Suchiman family. And this is a nice story. Remind me, I'll tell you. Narada goes around, who is the greatest yogi? He go around on this. So we have various yoga steps called the Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga. So this is a very beautiful thing where Karma Yoga is with the body, right? You do with the body, Karma you're working. Jnana is to do with your mind, right? Your mind involves, right? You understand. So that's it. Ashtanga Yoga is your intelligence, right? You're using your next level, which is your intelligence. You analyze, you do everything, it's at that stage. And Bhakti Yoga is at your heart. Even scientifically, your heart produces blood to various parts of the body, right? So everything else is nurtured by the heart. Same way, Bhakti Yoga, automatically other things are inbuilt. So someone who has Bhakti, who's doing, just like Mukherjee told you, I want to do only Bhakti, right? Automatically will have Jnana, automatically will be practicing Ashtanga Yoga and Karma. And when we are doing this, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna. What happens that pranayama, that is breathing, is automatically taken care of. So Ashtanga Yoga is built into it. Hare Krishna. Let's read this.
All other yogas are progression towards the destination of Bhakti Yoga. Hare Krishna.
Oh, can you read this one?
Yes. And all of the yogis, he who always abdies in me with great faith, worshipping me in transcendental loving service, is most intimately united with me in yoga, and is the highest of all.
Hare Krishna. Of all the yogis, he says he always abides in me, right? With great faith. Shraddha is so important, right? Do we all have faith in Krishna? I want an answer. Yes, no. Yes, 100%?
Yes.
Yes or no? Yes. Anyone thinks they have 1% faith less in Krishna? 99% only, not 100%.
No.
No one? Remind me, there's a story. Narada story. We'll discuss that. Then, so now this is yoga, is spiritual practice. So what we know is what he's telling, this Yoga Ashtanga Yoga chapter is over. It says all the yogis who abides in me with great faith, right? Worship me in transcendent loving service. That is what is devotion. What is the difference between worshipping and devotional service? What is the difference between playing and devotional service? Can anyone tell me?
Praying is we are doing for ourselves, and devotional service is done by ourselves.
Okay, devotional service is done by ourselves, and worship? Worship? the answer is correct. Devotional service is done by us. The only difference is that if you love someone, you do service. Let's say you are very fond, anybody has pets, they'll tell us. Okay, you take care of the pet. If you have a dog, still more, right? You take it for a walk, you will give water, you'll give food, right? Same way your mother says she loves you, she makes food for you. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah. So there is service, right? Service means not servant. Servant is different. You get paid, so it's a job. But service is what you do out of love. Does your mom say, okay, I will feed you today, but after 20 years, when I become old, you have to feed me back? Does she tell you this?
No.
No. So anything to do with love is called service, and that with devotion is called devotional service. So when you are with Krishna, what he expects, he doesn't want you to just respect him, obey senses, or worship him. No, the actual love is doing service. So he says, if you really love me, serve me, because that's where you have intimate relationship. Anyone for that matter, your friend is your best friend, right? And if your friend is hurt her hand, the first thing you'll do is, I will carry the bag for you. Does not make you a servant of that friend, but you serve the friend because it shows your love for him. Correct? You have a younger brother, a younger sister, you carry her backpack. Why? It shows your service, right? So why are you serving? Are you a porter? No, but you are showing the love, right? So that is what it is. So spiritual practice of yoga. So quickly, yoga practices for different yugas, right? So it's a very important thing. Kate yadhyayato vinay tretayo yachato makau dvapare paricharyaya kalo taddari khartenat. Srimad Bhagavatam 12.3.5. Various yogas in various times, right? Satya Yoga. Spoke about. That is the first yoga, and we saw, Hiranyakashipu is from Satya Yoga. They used to meditate on Vishnu like this, right? Ashtanga Yoga was practiced for hours, no, years together. They used to meditate, years. And Treta Yoga used to be such expensive yagnas, right? And so expensive. You see, even Rama was asked, for giving protection when they were doing yagnas. Why? Because those yagnas were so costly and you can't redo. And it will go for years. And they used to drop so many things. Why yagna? The yagna kund is considered as the mouth of Vishnu, and the fire is considered as the tongue of Vishnu. So whatever you drop in yagna goes directly to the fire, to them, to Vishnu. Does anyone know Swaha? Why do they say Swaha? Do you know who Swaha? No. Swaha is the wife of the fire god. That's why you say Swaha. You're sending it to her. And this is what it is. And very nicely, it's very expensive during Treta Yuga. Very elaborate temple worships. Very, very elaborate, and it's not easy. In fact, Rana Pratap Singh, we saw this in chapter 3, where he used to spend one day in his entire year to clean the temple. One full day he used to dedicate. So it used to take that long, right? And Dwapara Yuga used to be very elaborate temple worship, right? And Kali Yuga, for us, we have a bumper offer, right? We actually are the holy names of Krishna. The advantage of this is very time, place friendly. Many of you all ask, can I chant during this day? Can I chant when I have my menstrual cycle? Can I chant when there's a death in the family? Can I chant, if there is a birth in the family? Yes. You can chant anywhere. There is no restriction on time, place, or person, irrespective of gender. And caste, community. I belong to this caste. I belong to this community. Am I eating non-veg? Can I chant? Yes. Anytime you can chant, and you can chant anywhere, even in the washroom. You can chant. So Bhakti Yoga is like taking a lift. As a staircase will be the other yoga. So what is mantra? Mantra means man plus tra. Man means mind. You all know manasa, mind. Tra means deliver. So mantra is something which will deliver us. Japa. What do you mean by japa? Japa is the same thing, right? When you tell in a musical form, it's Kirtan. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. That way, if you do, it is Kirtan. But if you tell Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, in the same form, it's japa. Japa is for you, kirtan is for others. So japa is you tell and you hear. You have to tell loud, not Hare Krishna, no, just loud enough for you to hear. It's only meant for you. And this is Sankirtan where everybody, why is Sankirtan required? It's always nice to do things together. So you'll have more focus. There are a lot of scriptural references for chanting the holy name, and they are talking about some of the references, which is Narayana Sahita. It's mentioned there. It says what? Whatever. Dwapare Jane Vish Vinau Paicharatraistu Kave Kevalam Kalotu Nama Matre Pujyate Bhagavan Hari. Right? So you can only pray Hari. In the age of Kali, people should simply chant the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Iti nuachapa namna kalikalmana nachana nato parataro payo sarva vedenu dakshate. Hare Krishna. Chaitanya, right? Hare Nama, Hare Nameva Kevalam. Kalo nasti eva gater anyata. There's no other way. Who's saying? Chaitanya is saying. It's mentioned in Adi Lila 7.21. Who's Chaitanya? Chaitanya is none but incarnation of Krishna himself, who came 500 years back, but about him 5,000 years back was mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, 12th canto, 3rd chapter, 51 verse. And also, Prabhupada had mentioned about this, right? Yagna Japa Yojiosmi. Of all sacrifices, I am chanting the holy name. That is a Japa. 10.25. 10.25, Krishna tells that he is various qualities he brings. His opulences are there in the 10th chapter. And he says, of all the things, chanting the holy name, I am there in that. Right? One of you can read this. Hare Krishna.
My Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, in your holy name there is all good fortune for living entity, and therefore you have many names such as Kanaya and Govinda. You have invested all your potencies in those names, and there are no hard and fast rules for remembering them. Hare Krishna.
Nice, right? So, Supreme Personality of Godhead, in your holy name, there is all good fortune, right? He's saying they're all good fortune in both Krishna and Govinda, and they have potencies, right? 64 potencies are built in that. So that is what it is. Now let's read the do's and don'ts of chanting. Right? Every time when you chant, I got this message. If I want to do 5 mala, yes, you have to tell Panchatattva mantra 5 times. What is Panchatattva mantra? Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadara, Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. This is what is Panchatattva mantra. Shri Krishna Chaitanya is Krishna himself, incarnated in the form of Chaitanya. Prabhu Nityananda is on the left. You can make out. Can anyone tell who is Nityananda? I already told you the other day.
Balaram.
Baldev. Balaram is Nityananda. Very nice. Shri Advaita is Advaita Acharya. He is the incarnation of Vishnu and Shiva together. Gadadhara is Radharani here on the right. See, he's wearing a pink color dress. Srivasadi is Narada here the side. Right? Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So this is what it is. Chant loud so that you can hear. Don't whisper. Don't we'll sleep off. So chant loud so that you can do. Pronounce clearly. Don't tell Krishna, Krishna. No. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Like that. When you chant, no, don't do like Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. No, don't do all that. Pay attention. Give some respect. Concentrate. Right? No restriction on place. You can sit, stand, walk, jump, do whatever and chant. Don't. Ideal place is to sit and chant, but you can also walk. You can face any direction. There is no sentiment this way, that way. Most preferable time is Brahma Muhurtam, which is morning, right? Around 3:30, around the time. Because your concentration is very high. You can chant before bath, after bath. But it is recommended to chant with the keeping account. So keeping account means using Tulsi Mala. And why do you keep count of Tulsi Mala? Tulsi, initially you can take the wood Mala. Tulsi has one restriction that if you pass through, you have to take one. Other than that, there is no restriction on Tulsi Mala. So initial days, we recommend you use a normal Mala. So 108, you have to keep count. One should not chant only one portion of mantra, which means that when you're using the bead, just one second, I'll get the chanting. Right? When you're using the chanting bead, right? My mala, okay, don't, you're doing Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Don't tell Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama. Don't do that. Right? One full chanting round you have to finish. And always use a bag. This bead is called the Krishna bead. Can you see? Can you see it? This is called Krishna bead. So when you finish here, you don't go over it. You turn it and chant from the bead. So that is what it is. I have a chanting video. I'll send it. Don't do multitasking. Don't do this and mobile Hare Krishna. No. Right? You need to give attention. Somebody was telling, one devotee was telling, why can't I? I wanted to ask them only one thing. I am giving you a bundle of note, right? Rupee note. Will anyone watch TV or cook or do anything and count the bundle, even if the person is a banker? No. Why? Because you pay so much attention to money, right? Because you feel that one by chance, 1 10 rupee gets lost also, why take a chance? So imagine for a rupee which is materialistic, you're so careful. This is Krishna. This is like interview with Krishna. This is a time. Krishna is giving you this time. He's coming and sitting because the name and form is not different. When I say Hare Krishna, it means Krishna is sitting here. Now when every time we tell Hare Krishna, Krishna is here, right? We may not be able to see with our material eyes, but he can see us, right? So you have to give that undivided attention. Right? Benefits of chanting, let's see. Benefits of chanting. Chanting is so powerful that it can free you from all the sins of not just present, but the past. Not just remove the sins, but remove it from the root. That's the biggest benefit of chanting, right? And it also removes you from the bad habits, right? Anyone has bad habits, don't tell that I chanted once in the morning, my bad habit didn't go. No. Bad habits have come for many generations, not just now. So give it time, automatically habits will go. Many were telling, ma'am, I have this anxiety and stress. Yes, dear, if you have anxiety and stress, keep chanting. Automatically your anxiety and stress will go. I used to have a lot of fear. No reason. Why I'm scared, I don't know, but I used to be very scared, right? But I don't have that fear inside. I don't show it out, but inside I used to have that fear. But that inside me also is gone. So that's very peace of mind. It's a bumper offer. That's not the purpose of doing chanting. However, it's like when you take milk, right? You may take for hunger. However, it makes your skin healthier. It purifies you. It also, helps you to grow. Your brain tissues are developed and all that, right? So it comes handy. Like that, peace is comes on its way. It also gives you a lot of happiness and entertainment. Why? Because it's transcendental pleasure. Right? And these are experiences. It's really a process of having a realization. So let's hear what great people are saying. George, go ahead and read, ma. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, please read. Not able to hear, you have to unmute.
Started happening for me when I began chanting Hare Krishna.
So he's not great people. Who's that? Jean-Claude Halichi, youngest director in France, 29 years. So he is, please go ahead and read.
Chanting Hare Krishna has made a tremendous impact in my life.
Who's this? Ford. You know Ford Motors Group? He's chanting. Can anyone guess who this is?
Birla.
Huh?
Birla.
Close, but very familiar name. Go ahead, read, I'll show you.
I have been chanting Hare Krishna for many years and I have never found anything more pleasurable.
Gee, I thought you would have known.
Chanting Hare Krishna has helped me face all the ups and downs in my life with a great confidence and peace of mind.
Maffatlan. You all would have, maybe your parents will know Maffatlan, very familiar. She's a Dutch model.
Chanting helped me give up bad habits. It changed my vision of things.
Annie Schaufers. She's a Dutch model. She was like that. And now she's enjoying. Yeah.
By starting to chant Hare Krishna, I feel tremendous happiness.
Right? So you can imagine people, whoever thought it's happiness to drink drugs, right? Womanizing all that, they want to give up all that and come here. So you can imagine, what kind of a situation they will all be in. Hare Krishna. Vicky Open, leading thing. Yeah. Go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Many outlook towards life is lot more brighter after starting to associate with Hare Krishna devotees and chanting the Mahamantras.
Hare Krishna. So Vishwarup also has messaged. Oppenheimer was in a similar situation as Arjuna when he was given the responsibility of making atom bomb. He found solace and guidance in Bhagavad Gita itself. So nice. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. So this is from Bruce Claim. So yes.
Chanting makes me feel close to God.
He's he's one of the biggest Italy's top furniture designer. Yeah.
Mahamantra significantly reduces stress, depression, and the mode of ignorance and considerably increases mode of goodness. Hare Krishna.
You can see. You can read. Okay, I'll read. David, Master of Social Service Program at Florida State University, research for studying the effects of chanting Hare Krishna. People have done research, right? Go ahead.
When I am stressed out, I chant. It's one thing which charges my batteries. It clears my mind and brings me back in focus.
Hare Krishna. So he clearly says that stressed also you do. Paul Blarian. What does she say?
When I am nervous, I find chanting very calming. I don't get shaken up at little things.
So very clearly she's saying, I'm nervous, I find chanting very calming. Right? So when you're stressed, when you have exam, just chant for a second and you'll still feel relaxed. Sally, merchandiser, Hare Krishna.
Chanting Hare Krishna and reading authorized books on Krishna consciousness has brought me great peace.
All of you all will know this. Ramesh Lal, Toronto Health Spa. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, all of you. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So now tell me, anybody, any takers for Ashtanga Yoga? Anyone wants to go to the forest? No? Nobody now? Okay. So today we had already a presentation. We saw chanting. So this is a bag. Just thought I will share the thing. This is the beads for counting 16. When you're doing that, that's not mandatory. This particular bean bag, you take, you have it inside, you check once, you can, straighten it. For that, you take it out and then you can put it inside. And there will be a small hole on the other side, right? So that this particular finger you don't use for chanting. It's called pointing finger, so you don't use that. Even scientifically, it's said that this is so useful. You have to chant in right. Even if you're a left-hander, please chant in right, because your right hand chanting is extremely important, irrespective of whichever hand, because your nerve connects to the heart. So that is the thing. And you can do Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. One full in one, right? And you can go on and on. So this is what it is. So I just thought I will leave that note. Is there any other doubts you all have in chanting?
No, I don't have doubts in chanting. I have just doubt that yesterday I solved the fourth chapter quiz. So in that I'm doing English as well as Hindi class. So in English I got 8 marks. No, I got I got 8 marks in English, and then it was written you have pass this quiz. And in no, you have failed the quiz. And in Hindi, I got 6 marks. So there was written you have passed the quiz. So I haven't get
Can you
that
share the
calculation.
screenshot? Yeah, no
I
problem. Can
I
you
have
share the screenshot?
I haven't taken the screenshot. I just resolved the quiz again.
Oh, okay. Next time take it, because it should be some system error which we can send it to the IT department and have it fixed. But thanks for bringing it up. But next time any such things, take a screenshot and send it to Mohandas Prabhu immediately, so that he will be able to fix this issue. At least you were able to bring it up, right? Many won't tell also. That is why I'm telling. So next time just take a screenshot and tell us. Is that fine?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyaiva cha patitana pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Story time. Anyone needs story?
Yes.
We'll do one story. I had one story in mind, but I'm going to tell another story. So I told you, right, today in today's thing, we had what's called the Narada's issue, right? Narada, actually, what happened? He went, he wanted to know who is the greatest devotee, right? We saw that in one pic. So he goes and implements this. So it's a part 1 and part 2. I'm going to go straight to the part 2, where after trying a lot of self-research, he gives up and he goes to Narayana and says, Narayana, Narayana, you tell me who's the greatest devotee. And Narayana says, okay, no problem. You want to know who the greatest devotee is? Go ahead and meet this small insect, and the insect will tell you who the greatest devotee is. Narada is very happy and he runs to this insect, this worm. Okay. Narada says, Narayana, who sent me to you to find which is a great Tabal. The moment he says that, what happens is immediately that particular worm, there is one bird which comes and eats off that worm. So Narayana is Narada is very disturbed because he wants to know the greatest devotee and the worm is dead. So he comes to Narayana and says, Narayana, the worm died. Now how will I find out who the greatest devotee is? Narayana says, no problem. If you want to know who the greatest devotee is, forget about the worm, go and meet this calf. That one you ask, it's in the mode of goodness. So you can go and ask him that who's the greatest devotee. So he's very excited. He goes and this calf is very cute. No, even the picture is very cute. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's in the mode of goodness. It just came now, it was just delivered by its mother. And the moment it sees Narada, he comes crawling. Because he loves Narada, he remembers, he knows Narada and he recognizes and he just goes. Narada is so excited. Wow, the calf seems to have known my answer, right? It's going to answer my question. He just opens her mouth telling, hey, and the calf dies, immediately dies. Narada is like, his heart stopped. Anybody's heart skipped a beat because mine skipped when I heard this. And he comes back, Narayana, that calf died. This is my situation. What should I do? Narayana is telling, oh my Narada, don't worry. Do one thing, forget it. Now the king has not had a child for many years. He's got a small, lovely, beautiful prince. Why don't you go ask him? He's telling. Now what should Narada do? Narada's heart is like racing. My heart was also racing when I heard that story. And you all tell me now, what does it feel? Should he go ask? Come on, there's no right answer, wrong answer. You all should tell me, then only I will have the interest to tell story. Hare Krishna. Since I'm not getting any answer, I'm going to hold the story till tomorrow.
Sorry, repeat the question again.
Huh?
Repeat the question again.
The question is, what should he do? Narayana is telling, go meet this prince. Should Narada go and meet the prince? Already 2 people whom he saw died. Should he go, not go? What should he do?
No.
He should not go, right? So he should not go. Anybody having different answers? I thought the same. Huh?
He should meet the king.
You want him to meet? He should go. Acha, we are having mixed views. Now Narada is confused. Now Narada is very tense. Okay, so all those who said we should go and meet, are you tensed or are you not tensed? Or you're like, okay, let him go, let the child die. What is your feeling? Rishabh, now you tell me, you told you should go, no? Okay, Prince goes means it's okay. Okay, now Narada is very confused, right? He's very tensed. So he's going and asking, what should I do? What should I do? And immediately Narada, anyway, is scared, but then he doesn't go against Narayana. So he goes and meets the prince, right? Now look at this tension. Screen itself is not moving. Now he goes to the thing. Narada's face, can you see so much of tension? Because the child just born, all are like, just seeing the child is stretching the hand. Narada literally is having Veena in both hands, drops from one hand and stretches the other hand, and his BP is going up, his heart is beating. He is so tense, just like all of you. Everybody tensed or nobody is tensed? Or is there anyone who's just not worried?
Tensed, everybody is
Tense,
tense.
na? So Narada is also very tense. He came because he didn't want to tell no to Narayana, but then he's like palpitating and he's just stretching his hand, and the child immediately recognizes Narada and says, Narada, please come. And everybody is astonished. The small child is speaking. He says, Narada, you're such a great devotee. You're the greatest devotee in the entire world. Narada says, what? He says, yes, I was originally, born as a worm. But the moment I saw you, I got liberated and upgraded to mode of goodness, calf. The moment I saw you again, I'm now born as a prince of a very rich king. And that too, somebody who wanted me so badly. Right? So you are the biggest devotee, because when you see a devotee, you get spiritualized. So you should meet a spiritual master in your life, because irrespective of who you are, spiritual master only can give benediction, and you are the greatest devotee. That is the power of a pure devotee. Why do we need to connect to a spiritual master? Because a spiritual master is a very pure devotee and he can offer the benediction. He can give you the love and mercy of Krishna. And that is what it is said here. Right? So Hare Krishna. So now Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Why did I tell this story? Is all of us love Krishna. All of us have faith in Krishna, and we all believe we love him 100% and we have faith 100%. But if you see the situation, all of us were scared. Even though we said we should go, our heart was not calm. Did you notice? We were fully anxious. We were scared. We didn't want him to go. Even if we wanted to go, we were scared. Never we had the feeling, 1% also, maybe this is good. No, right? Somewhere in our heart, we felt, oh my God, because we feel our decisions are correct. We are so materialistic and we are so confident about ourselves and not Krishna. So even though Krishna himself is telling us do it, we don't want to do it because we just don't know whether it's the right thing to do. So I just wanted to leave this story and this note. And, this shows that, our faith will grow more by connecting ourselves with the spiritual master. Just like how a worm could also become a prince, the relationship with the spiritual master and a pure devotee like Narada is very important. Difficult to get hold of Narada, but whomever we get hold of, we should be in touch and never leave the relationship of a spiritual master. So with this, I'll end. Hare Krishna. Any doubts you can ask, otherwise one of you can chant. Today is the 6th day, 6 into 6, 36 times you all will chant. Any doubt? Vyasa, yes, you're right. Vyasa was, yes, go ahead. You'll chant, okay. Vyasa is the incarnation of Krishna. He wrote all the 4 Vedas, Rig Veda, Sama Veda, Yajur Veda, Atharva Veda, and he wrote Mahabharata, or Mahabharat also. In spite of all this, he was not very happy. Why? Because he could not appreciate Krishna. So Narada is his spiritual master also. Narada appears whenever people meet. For Dhruva also, it was a spiritual master. For Prahlad also is a spiritual master. And he tells that you write this Srimad Bhagavatam, which talks about Krishna and the devotees, and you feel satisfaction. That is how Srimad Bhagavatam came into life. Hare Krishna.